They didn't disrespect you by accident. They wanted a reaction. They wanted you angry. But the most dangerous person is the one who says nothing. In a world full of noise and ego, your silence speaks louder than any comeback. And karma, it always hears what you don't say. The nature of disrespect, understand it. So you don't react. Disrespect is rarely accidental. It is a deliberate choice. When someone looks you directly in the eye and delivers a sarcastic remark or a cutting comment, it is not carelessness. It is calculated. They want to see your reaction. They want you to become angry, lose control, and abandon your composure. They want to watch you fall apart so they can feel stronger by comparison. But when you refuse to react and choose silence instead, their plan fails. And in that silence, you reclaim a power they could never obtain through disrespect. Disrespect is a tactic, not an accident. Very few insults are truly accidental or just a joke. More often, they are intentional strategies. People observe you. They choose the right moment and the right words to strike. They know exactly where their comments will land. Your insecurities, your fears, your vulnerabilities, and they release them like arrows. Aimed at a target, they do not seek truth. They do not seek understanding. What they want is an emotional battle. One, they can win by dragging you down to their level. It is a cheap form of control, making someone else feel small in order to feel slightly bigger themselves. You are not the problem. You reflect their fears. When someone disrespects you, it often says more about them than it does about you. People who are truly at peace do not need to provoke others. People who feel fulfilled do not need to diminish others to feel valuable. Disrespect is often a reflection of insecurity, weakness, and a lack of self-worth. They do not dislike you because you are wrong. They feel uncomfortable because you represent something they do not have. Calmness, confidence, self-control, sometimes your very presence is enough to make them feel threatened. Your reaction is the gift you should never give. The simple truth is this: your reaction is the currency they are looking for. Every time you become angry, defend yourself, or desperately try to explain yourself, you give them exactly what they want, the feeling of control. And the more you react, the more power you surrender. You do not owe anyone an explanation. You do not need to respond to every criticism. Silence is not weakness. It is a refusal to participate in a game you never needed to play. Silence doesn't just protect, it reflects. Silence is not merely a shield, it is a mirror. When you refuse to react, you force others to face themselves. You do not join their emotional storm. Instead, you reveal that they are alone in the chaos they created, and that frightens them. Your silence is not avoidance. It is a declaration that they no longer have access to your emotions. They can no longer enter your mind. And for a manipulative person, that is the greatest defeat imaginable. Don't fall into the emotional trap. Disrespect is a trap. Its purpose is not only to hurt you, but to pull you down as well. The moment you respond with anger or try to prove yourself, you step onto their battlefield and begin playing by their rules. And no matter how clever your response may be, you still lose something valuable: your peace. Remember this: you do not need to win every emotional confrontation. The real victory is maintaining your inner peace, remaining centered, and continuing forward without allowing someone else's negativity to change your direction. When you don't react, they lose power. Have you ever experienced this? Someone insults you and waits for you to explode, but instead, you simply look at them, remain silent, and offer no reaction at all. Suddenly, they become confused. Their tone changes. Their confidence fades. They lose their sense of control. That is the power of composure. When you refuse to react, you are not only protecting yourself, you are forcing them to confront a painful truth. They no longer control you. They are not the problem. Your emotions are the battlefield. Disrespect does not require retaliation. It requires calmness. It requires understanding that while you cannot control other people, you can always control yourself. And when you master that, you accomplish something extraordinary. You protect your peace, you preserve your dignity, and you prove the most important truth of all. Real power is not found in reaction. Real power is found in self-mastery. You do not need to speak to prove your worth. Let your silence speak for you, and let your life become the clearest answer of all. The power of silence. When not reacting becomes the strongest form of counterattack. In a world where everyone feels compelled to speak, defend themselves, and react instantly, silence has become a rare form of power. Not everyone has the strength to remain silent when they are insulted, belittled, or deliberately provoked. Yet it is precisely in those moments, when you refuse to retaliate, refuse to become angry, and refuse to explain yourself, that you create the greatest confusion in the mind of the other person. And it is in that moment that you reclaim the power they were trying to take from you. Silence is not weakness, it is ultimate self-control. Silence does not mean you know nothing, feel nothing, or lack strength. Quite the opposite. Silence is one of the highest expressions of self-mastery. It shows that you are not easily manipulated by temporary emotions, and that you refuse to be pulled into someone else's chaos. When someone disrespects you, they are not merely trying to insult you, they are trying to control you. They want to see you angry. They want to watch you lose your composure. They want to witness your emotional collapse, but when you choose not to react and maintain your silence, they fail immediately. Silence is a strategy, not passivity. Silence is not surrender. It is not indifference. It is the strategy of someone who understands that not every battle deserves to be fought. A well-known Stoic principle teaches, you do not need to win every battle. You need to win over yourself. When you choose silence, you are not giving up. You are refusing to play on someone else's battlefield. You are refusing to lower yourself to the level of pettiness, negativity, and emotional drama. Your silence sends a powerful message. I know who I am. I do not need to raise my voice to defend my worth. Free silence forces others to confront themselves. When you refuse to react, something remarkable happens. The person who insulted you is forced to face their own behavior. They no longer have someone to argue with. They no longer have someone to blame. All that remains is themselves and the emptiness behind their actions. This is often called the silent punishment, an incredibly effective yet dignified response. You do not lower yourself. You do not attack. You simply step away and allow them to confront their own insecurity, pettiness, and inner fears. Your silence becomes a mirror, and not everyone is brave enough to look into it. Silence is the loudest message you can send. You do not need words to prove anything. Your composure, presence, and unwavering attitude speak for themselves. When you refuse to react to insults, ignore contemptuous looks, and remain unaffected by petty behavior, you communicate one clear message. You are not important enough to disturb my peace. For people who crave control and influence, this is one of the strongest blows imaginable to their ego. True power lies in not needing to speak. Truly strong people do not need to shout. They do not need to constantly prove themselves. They possess a natural presence and quiet authority that comes from inner stillness. It is a strength that remains steady, unmoved, and untouched by the noise of the outside world. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you master your emotions and maintain your silence during life's storms, you are doing more than protecting yourself. You are demonstrating the highest form of mental strength. Silence makes you untouchable. Have you ever heard the saying, "A lion does not turn around when a small dog barks"? That is not arrogance. It is self-awareness. When you remain silent instead of responding to disrespect, you establish a powerful boundary. I will not lower myself to react to what is meaningless. And from that moment forward, you operate on a different level. You no longer play by other people's rules. You no longer allow others to pull the strings of your emotions. You become free. free from the need for validation, free from emotional manipulation, free from battles that were never worth fighting in the first place. And that freedom is one of the greatest forms of power a person can possess. Silence, the powerful voice of self-mastery. In a world filled with conflict, where people constantly compete to be louder, argue harder, and react faster, silence has become something rare and deeply admirable. It does not come from weakness. It comes from inner strength, from self-awareness, and from a quiet confidence that does not require anyone else's approval. The next time someone deliberately insults, provokes, or disrespects you, remember this: you do not need to react to prove your worth. You do not need to become angry to prove that you are right. You only need to remain calm, stay silent, and continue moving forward. Because within that silence lies a power that no one can take away and no one can break. True strength is not found in the loudest voice. It is found in the person who remains composed when everyone else loses control. It is found in the one who chooses peace over chaos, wisdom over impulse, and self-mastery over revenge. Let your silence speak louder than your words. Let your calmness become your shield. And let your life be the ultimate proof that real power comes not from controlling others, but from mastering yourself. The psychology of provocation. When others deliberately create conflict to gain control. In everyday life, we often encounter situations where people intentionally provoke, insult, or hurt us through their words and actions. These moments are rarely war, accidents, or careless mistakes. Most acts of provocation are calculated. They are psychological strategies designed to test your emotional boundaries. The key is recognizing this for what it is, so you don't react impulsively, fall into an emotional trap, or surrender your inner power. Instead, you maintain control, and with it, your freedom. Provocation is intentional, not accidental. People rarely insult you just for fun. When someone looks you in the eye and delivers a sarcastic remark, it is often deliberate. They want to see how you will respond. Their goal is not conversation. Their goal is control. Provocation is a test. They want to discover whether you are easily angered, easily offended, or easily pulled into the emotional chaos they are familiar with. The moment you react instinctively, they win because you have given them exactly what they wanted: control over your emotions. True provocation targets insecurities and the need for validation. Every person has weaknesses and hidden insecurities. Those who enjoy provoking others are often skilled at identifying them. They observe carefully and search for the most vulnerable areas in your life: self-doubt, the need for approval, the desire to be understood, the longing to be loved and accepted. Then they use words as weapons, striking precisely where they know it will hurt. Their objective is not to discover truth. It is not to settle a debate. Their goal is to trigger an emotional reaction. The more control you lose, the more convinced they become that they have power over you. Why do they want to provoke you? The answer is simple: because they lack control over their own lives. When people feel weak, insignificant, or unrecognized, they often try to pull others down so they can feel elevated themselves. Provocation says very little about you. It reveals everything about them. A person who is genuinely fulfilled and at peace does not need to insult, challenge, or test others. Those who constantly provoke people are often searching for a cheap sense of power by disturbing someone else's peace. The psychology of reaction: why we are easily manipulated when we are insulted. Our natural instinct is to defend ourselves. We want to argue. We want to justify ourselves. We want to prove we are not weak. But in doing so, we often step directly into the game that was designed for us. They create an emotional trap, and we willingly walk into it. Psychologists often refer to this as emotional hijacking, a state in which emotions take control before reason has a chance to respond. The more you react, the more powerful they feel. The more you explain yourself, the more they realize they have affected you. The ultimate weapon against provocation: silence and composure. The only way to escape the cycle of provocation is to refuse to play the game. And you do that through silence, calmness, and self-control. Silence is not avoidance, it is refusal. It says, I am strong enough not to be dragged into a meaningless battle. Your calmness disrupts their expectations. When you refuse to react, they begin asking themselves questions. Why are they silent? What are they thinking? Are they planning something? Have I become unimportant to them? And it is that uncertainty, not your anger, that makes them uncomfortable. Reactions. Create importance, don't give it away. Every reaction sends an unconscious message. You are important enough to affect me. Silence sends the opposite message. It makes them invisible within your emotional world. They no longer hold influence. They no longer possess power. And for people who thrive on manipulation, that feels like a psychological death. Silence forces them to face themselves. Nothing is more uncomfortable for a provocateur than being left alone with their own behavior. When you refuse to react, you do more than escape their control. You force them to confront themselves. And most people find that far more difficult than confronting another person. Your silence becomes more than a defense. It becomes a form of psychological counterattack, a mirror they cannot easily. Veritone, understanding the game is the highest form of self-control. Provocation is a psychological game, and like every game, it only works when someone agrees to play. The moment you understand its nature, you become far more difficult to manipulate. Remember, you cannot control the actions of other people, but you can always control your response, and that is where true power begins. The next time someone mocks you, provokes you, or tries to challenge your peace, take a deep breath. Remain silent. Smile because you understand something they do not. The game ends the moment you refuse to play. Protecting inner peace. When not reacting becomes the ultimate strength. In a world where people are increasingly quick to anger, quick to react, and easily drawn into endless conflicts, maintaining inner peace has become one of the most valuable and powerful skills a person can possess. Inner peace does not happen by accident. It must be protected intentionally through self-mastery, deep self-awareness, and the ability to refuse others the power to control your emotions. Inner peace is not indifference. It is controlled strength. Many people mistake silence or non-reaction for weakness, avoidance or surrender. In reality, inner calm is one of the clearest signs of emotional maturity and genuine strength. When you are insulted, disrespected, or provoked, reacting impulsively is easy. Yet it is in that very moment that calmness becomes your sharpest weapon. Why? Because you refuse to let someone take away your most valuable possession, your emotional stability. Not everyone who insults you deserves a response. The truth is that most hurtful words do not come from truth. They come from insecurity, envy, and unresolved pain within the person speaking them. They do not attack you because you are wrong. They attack you because your presence makes them feel smaller. You do not need to react to every form of negativity. Sometimes silence is the most definitive answer. I choose not to react because you are not important enough for me to trade away my peace. Anyone can pull you into chaos if you allow it. People may insult you, but only you can decide whether those insults deserve the power to hurt you. If you become angry, lose control, shout, or constantly defend yourself, you have entered their world. You have allowed them to dictate your emotional state. Inner peace is the final boundary you must protect. A truly strong person does not allow others to define their emotions. They do not seek validation from those determined to misunderstand them. They do not lower themselves to battle unnecessary noise. Instead, they choose stillness and return to themselves. Why negative people hate your peace? Negative people thrive on emotional chaos because it makes them feel powerful. They enjoy seeing others react because it proves they still have influence. When you remain calm, refuse to react, and simply move on, they begin to feel invisible. Your peace reflects their inner turmoil back at them, and that reflection is uncomfortable. That is precisely why protecting your peace matters. It not only shields you, but also makes you inaccessible to those who seek to disturb you. Silence is the best way to protect your energy in the age of social media. every insult can be amplified. Every act of disrespect has the potential to go viral, but participation is always a choice. You do not need to answer every comment, respond to every accusation, or engage with every act of ignorance. Simply remember, not everything that provokes a reaction deserves a place in your mind. Treat your peace as a priceless asset. Do not hand it over to someone who has done nothing to earn it simply because they offered a few empty words. A quiet mind helps you see the road ahead. The moment you react emotionally, your focus begins to fade. Your energy is spent on things that contribute nothing to your growth. But when you protect your inner peace, you remain focused on what truly matters, your goals, your long-term vision. The future you are building. A calm mind is a powerful mind. Such people do not chase others, argue endlessly, or constantly prove themselves. They allow their results to speak for them. Peace is the highest form of response. Not reacting does not mean you do not see what happened. It does not mean you feel nothing. It simply means you are wise enough to choose your battles. Not every fight deserves your attention. Not every insult deserves an answer. Sometimes the thing that affects people most is not what you say. It is your refusal to react at all. Your peace can make their efforts feel meaningless. Peace is a form of power in a noisy world filled with endless opinions and very little reflection. Silence and composure become the signature of maturity. The next time someone insults you, provokes you, or tries to drag you into emotional conflict, remember, you do not need to react. You do not need to win every argument. You only need to protect your peace, because peace is not weakness. Peace is power, and in many situations, peace is the highest form of victory. The effect of silence on those who hurt you, in moments when you are insulted, betrayed, or treated with disrespect. Human instinct often urges you to react, to fight back, explain yourself, or even seek revenge. But those who truly understand human emotions and psychology choose a different path. They choose silence, not because they are weak, but because they understand this. Silence is often the heaviest psychological sentence for the person who caused the pain. When silence becomes a mirror, when someone insults you, they do not simply want to hurt you, they want you to react. Your reaction serves as proof that they still have power over you. They want to pull you into the chaos they are familiar with. But when you refuse to react, you do more than reject the conflict. You place a mirror in front of them. They are forced to face their own behavior without anyone else to blame. Your silence becomes the purest reflection of their actions, and many people find that reflection unbearable. Their mind begins to spiral. One of the most powerful effects of silence is that it triggers an endless chain of thoughts in the mind of the person who caused the harm. Why aren't they saying anything? What are they thinking? Did I go too far? Are they planning something? Why are they so calm? Suddenly, the psychological game reverses. The person who intended to make you lose control is now the one feeling lost and uncertain. They begin to question themselves, doubt themselves, and if they possess any self-awareness at all, they may even begin to feel guilt. Silence makes them feel invisible. For toxic individuals, their sense of importance often depends on their ability to influence the emotions of others. They need reactions to feel significant. They need conflict to feed an empty ego. But when you choose silence, you remove them from your emotional world, and that can make them feel as though they no longer exist. They may try every possible method to provoke you again. Yet when you remain calm and offer no response, you push them into a crisis of uncertainty. No reaction, no control in the game of manipulation. Your reaction is the reward they seek. They cast insults like a fishing line, and if you react, you become the fish that takes the bait. But when you remain silent, you cut off that source of emotional energy. They no longer know what influence they have over you. They can no longer determine their place in the game. Your silence creates confusion, and that confusion often feels like a defeat they are unwilling to admit. Lasting silence leaves a deeper impact than criticism and insult may provoke anger. A counterattack may trigger another conflict, but a well-timed, deliberate silence can linger in someone's mind for years. Why? Because nobody likes being ignored. Nobody wants to become invisible in the eyes of someone they once hurt. Silence sends a powerful message. You are no longer important enough to receive a response from me. And for fragile yet arrogant egos, that message can be deeply unsettling. They may create more drama to pull you back. And when your silence continues, many people who once hurt you will attempt to create more drama. They may spread rumors, they may invent stories, they may recruit others to continue the conflict. These are often signs that they are frustrated because they can no longer control you, but you do not need to participate. The person who is becoming consumed by your silence is often the one who is losing. The ultimate form of consequence, becoming untouchable. Someone who once insulted or mistreated you may expect arguments, tears, resistance, or retaliation, anything that allows them to control the narrative. But you choose a different path. You do not react, you do not explain, you do not compete. You step away from the world they inhabit. You build your life, your career, your peace of mind, and gradually become someone they can no longer reach. No curses, no venge, no endless battles. Simply move forward in silence and leave them behind with the consequences of their own actions. Silence is a sentence they must carry themselves. You do not need revenge. Your silence becomes a sentence they must live with every day while you continue moving forward and building a meaningful life. They may remain trapped in cycles of guilt, regret, resentment, or misguided pride. You win, not because you fought back, but because you no longer needed to. Conclusion: the greatest power of silence is not that it hurts others. It is that it frees you. When you stop reacting, you stop giving away your energy. You stop allowing others to dictate your emotions. You reclaim control over your own mind. The ultimate victory is not revenge, it is peace, it is growth. It is becoming so focused on your own path that those who once tried to hurt you can no longer influence your direction. And sometimes, the loudest message you can send is saying nothing at all. Stoic thinking: choose calmness over revenge. In an age where instant reactions are often mistaken for strength, silence and composure have become a hidden form of power, a strategic choice. Those who follow Stoic principles understand that revenge is not victory. It is surrendering to emotion. Instead, they choose tranquility, not because they are weak, but because they have mastered themselves. Reaction is a form of power. Use it selectively. Other people do not make you lose control. You choose to lose control. An insult is not as damaging as the way you decide to respond to it. Those who live according to Stoic philosophy are not easily pulled into negativity because they understand one simple truth: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius: every time you respond to a provocation, you give away a portion of your peace, energy, and precious focus. Provocateurs do not want answers. They want control. Not every insult is rooted in truth. More often, it is an expression of insecurity, jealousy, or a desire to control others. They are not waiting for your explanation. They are waiting for your reaction. When you become angry, you lose direction. When you rush to defend yourself, you unintentionally validate their attack. And just like that, they win. Not because they were right, but because you played the game they created. Silence. The deepest counterattack in psychology. Silence is not surrender. It is your decision to leave a battlefield that is not worth fighting on and rise above it. When you refuse to react, you force others to face themselves. Your silence sparks countless questions in the mind of the person trying to hurt you. Why aren't they fighting back? Did I go too far? What are they planning? Have I lost my place in their mind? You do not need to say a word. They create the crisis within their own thoughts. No reaction means no control. Manipulators feed on the emotions of others. Every negative reaction from you is a reward. It is how they maintain influence. When you choose not to react, you cut off that source of nourishment. You make them invisible within your emotional world. And for people who thrive on attention, that feels like a psychological death. Calmness is not weakness. It is the highest victory, some people may say. Silence means accepting disrespect. But the Stoic understands, not everyone deserves your response. They know they do not need to react to every comment or participate in every battle. Their silence is not born from helplessness, but from wisdom. They know their energy is better invested in things that truly matter. You may not be able to stop others from trying to hurt you, but you can refuse to let them control your mind. You do not need to win every battle. Win at life instead. Those who pursue inner calm are not attracted to small victories or petty revenge. They seek something greater, self-mastery, peace of mind, and a life untouched by negativity. You do not need to answer every insult. Let your results speak. Let your growth speak. Eventually, your silence will echo, not in their ears, but in their minds. When you stay silent, your actions speak for you. You do not need to tell people that you are strong. Your composure will reveal. You do not need to prove that you are superior. Your progress will prove it. You do not need to argue to be right. Your calmness is evidence enough. Wise people do not allow criticism to define their worth. Instead, they let their lives, their character, and their accomplishments speak for themselves. Let others drown in chaos, while you move forward. When someone provokes, insults, or intentionally hurts you, that is not the moment for revenge. It is the moment for growth. While they remain focused on talking about you, you continue moving forward, and that is how you win. Your silence becomes their nightmare, not because you are cruel, but because you no longer give them the power to hurt you. Calmness is the quietest declaration of power. A Stoic does not need noise, revenge, or endless explanations. They understand that you do not need to prove anything to people who have already chosen to misunderstand you. The greatest revenge is not found in words or arguments. It is found in peace of mind. It is found in success achieved quietly. It is found in building a life that those who once tried to hurt you can no longer reach. Let silence be your answer. Let calmness be your declaration. And let your life become the strongest proof that you chose the right battlefield. The difference between the strong and the weak. In today's world, noise is often mistaken for strength, and quick reactions are seen as signs of confidence. But Stoicism, the philosophy of truly strong individuals, teaches the opposite. Strong people do not need to prove themselves. They do not react impulsively. They maintain control. So what truly separates the strong from the weak? It is not physical strength or social status. It is how they respond to provocation, disrespect, and the chaos created by others. The weak react instinctively. The strong respond rationally. Weak people often allow emotions to guide their actions. They get pulled into every argument, every insult, and every sarcastic remark. A glance can make them angry. A comment can wound them, and being ignored can send them into frustration. Strong people, on the other hand, understand that no one controls their mind except themselves. They do not allow others to steer their emotions with a few words. They choose whether to respond or not respond, with intention and awareness. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The weak seek validation. The strong know who they are. Weak people often feel compelled to answer back, defend themselves, or teach someone a lesson. Their self-worth depends on what others think, say, admire, or criticize. Strong people are different. They do not require praise or approval. Their value comes from within, not from the opinions of others. They do not need to prove they are right. They simply strive to live rightly. The weak are controlled by insults. The strong control their emotions. A harsh remark or a deliberate provocation can easily unsettle a weak person. They may lose composure, become aggressive, or spiral into emotional turmoil. They fail to realize that reacting often means handing power to the person attacking them. The strong understand that provocation is a trap. Emotional reactions are exactly what manipulators expect. Silence, however, allows you to remain in control. They stay calm, not because they feel nothing, but because they have learned to master their emotions instead of being mastered by them. The weak live for revenge, the strong live for progress. Weak people dwell on the past, on wounds, resentment, and the desire to get even. They want immediate justice. They want to make others suffer as they have suffered. Strong people recognize that the highest form of revenge is growth. They do not stop to retaliate. They move forward, build, improve, and allow their results to speak for themselves. You do not need to shout to prove your worth. Your life will speak for you. The weak use. Words as weapons. The strong use silence as strategy. Weak people believe they must always have the last word. They feel compelled to respond, argue, and justify themselves. Strong people understand something deeper. Silence is the most powerful refusal. There is no need to lower yourself by arguing with someone who lacks understanding. Silence is not surrender. It is the conscious choice not to participate in a game that is not worth playing. Silence forces the offender to confront themselves. And psychologically, that can be a far greater consequence than any argument. The weak seek attention, the strong seek freedom. Weak people crave attention, recognition, and visibility. They fear being forgotten, ignored, or disrespected. Strong people seek peace. They value inner freedom more than applause. They do not need to be known by everyone. They only need the freedom to be themselves. For them, remaining steady in the middle of a storm is already a victory. The weak are easily manipulated. The strong unsettle manipulators. Weak individuals allow anger and emotion to guide their decisions. As a result, they become easy targets for manipulation. Strong individuals, when insulted, do not immediately react. They do not rush to defend themselves or strike back. Their calmness and unpredictability make manipulators uncomfortable. The manipulator cannot understand why their tactics no longer work, and eventually, their own strategy begins to collapse. The weak need closure. The strong know how to let go. Weak people constantly seek closure, a sincere apology, an explanation, or a perfect ending. Strong people do not depend on these things. They let go, not because they were never hurt, but because they choose healing over bitterness. They understand a fundamental truth. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. True strength comes from self-mastery. The difference between the strong and the weak is not found in muscles, wealth, or social status. It is found in the ability to govern one's own mind. The weak are dragged into other people's games. The strong create their own path and walk it with quiet confidence. The loudest person is not always the strongest. The one who speaks the most is not always right. In the end, the true winner is the person who knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Who do you want to become? The person who is pulled in every direction by insults and provocations? Or the person who stands firm through every storm without being shaken? Choose calmness. Choose depth. Choose true strength. The psychology of provocation in modern society. Psychological attacks, sarcasm, and provocative behavior have become increasingly common. But the important question is not whether you are insulted. It is why you feel insulted, and why someone else wants to provoke you in the first place. Provocation is rarely a random act. It is often a deliberate strategy. To understand and overcome it, you must recognize the psychology behind the provocateur, while applying Stoic principles to maintain your inner calm and self-control. Provocation is not accidental. It is a psychological test. Most insults are not random. They are a test, trap. When someone insults you, mocks you, or deliberately undermines you, they are not simply trying to hurt your feelings. They are testing your emotional control. They watch your eyes, your facial expressions, your body language. They want to know, can I make this person lose control? Can I influence their reaction? If you respond emotionally, they feel victorious. Provocation is how weak people create the illusion of power. Truly strong people do not need to provoke others. They do not build themselves up by tearing others down. Those who are insecure, burdened by self-doubt or feel insignificant, often use provocation as a tool to create an illusion of power. They know that if they can make you react, they can influence your emotions and your state of mind with very little effort. I made you angry. Therefore, I have influence. I made you uncomfortable. Therefore, I have power. These are illusions, but many people still fall into the trap. Emotional reactions are the fuel that feeds manipulators. Your anger is fuel. Your reaction is their reward. When you respond with frustration or rage, you are following the script they created for you. Provocateurs are not seeking solutions. They are not interested in logic or understanding. They want to see whether they can drag you into the emotional chaos they thrive on. If you react, you lose energy. If you remain silent, they lose control. Silence is the deepest form of psychological counterattack in behavioral psychology. Silence creates a remarkably powerful effect. It forces the offender to confront themselves. When you do not react, defend yourself, or explain, they lose their emotional foothold. Doubt, anxiety, and uncertainty begin to emerge within them. Why aren't they saying anything? What are they thinking? Did I go too far? Am I losing my influence over them? Your silence creates a void, and that void becomes a mirror reflecting truths they may be trying to avoid. Provocateurs are not strong. They simply haven't been exposed, manipulative. People often avoid accountability. They prefer to provoke, shift blame, and create situations where others react emotionally instead of facing their own behavior. But when you refuse to react, you refuse to play your role in their performance. And when no one joins the act, their true nature becomes visible. Your silence exposes their weaknesses rather than concealing them. Calmness is not surrender. It is psychological mastery sum. People may look at your silence and assume weakness, but from both a psychological and Stoic perspective, calmness represents the highest form of strength. Anyone can react. Instinctively, only a disciplined person can master their reactions. No one can make you lose control unless you allow them to. This is one of the central principles of Stoic thinking. Wise. People do not seek revenge. They rise above whenever you are provoked. You always have two choices: retaliate, react emotionally, and step into their script. Rise above, remain calm, and continue moving forward. Weak people seek victory in every argument. Strong people seek victory in life. Stoic psychology. When you refuse to react, you take control. Silence breaks the circuit. When you choose not to react, you regain the initiative. You remove the other person's ability to manipulate the situation. You force them to look inward instead of focusing on you. And when your silence echoes in their mind, you transform self-control into an art form. Understanding is liberation. Provocation will always exist. But once you understand the psychology behind it, you are no longer its victim. You are no longer dragged into reactions. You choose your responses. You stop trying to defeat other people and start mastering yourself. And that is the true strength of a great mind. The most powerful inner transformation. There are moments in life when you feel betrayed, insulted, or looked down upon. People make sarcastic remarks, spread negativity, or deliberately try to hurt you. In those moments, your instinct urges you to fight back, to respond, defend yourself, or even seek revenge. But it is precisely at that moment that you stand at a crossroads of transformation. You can react as you always have, emotionally, angrily, defensively, or you can choose a different path: silence, composure, and maturity. That is where true inner transformation begins. From instinctive reactions to intentional responses, reacting is natural. When we are attacked, we want to defend ourselves. But most of our reactions come from unhealed wounds, not from wisdom. Transformation begins when we stop reacting solely from emotion and start responding from purpose and self-control. We pause, breathe, and ask ourselves, will this reaction move me forward or pull me down? Silence is not weakness. It is the first sign that your inner world is beginning to transform, from seeking justice to trusting time. When we are treated unfairly, our first instinct is to seek justice. We want apologies, acknowledgement, and consequences. But here is a difficult truth. Real justice rarely comes through arguments. It comes through time, growth, and truth revealing itself. Transformation occurs when you release the need for an apology and trust the natural unfolding of life. You begin to understand. Your silence is not avoidance. It is faith that truth does not need to rush. From feeling hurt to recognizing your worth when someone insults you, the deepest pain often comes not from their words, but from the way those words make you feel afterward. The truth is, the person insulting you does not truly know who you are. They are reacting to an image they have created in their mind, not to your authentic self. Transformation happens when you lift your head and say, I do not need them to understand me. Understanding myself is enough. From wanting to be understood to accepting being misunderstood, much of our suffering comes not from insults themselves, but from our desire to be understood, validated, and recognized as being right. Real transformation begins when you no longer need everyone to understand you. You accept that some people will choose to misunderstand you because it serves their own ego, narrative, or insecurities. And when you stop trying to explain yourself endlessly, you reclaim the energy needed to build your own life. From anger to gratitude in silence, paradoxically, some of the greatest transformations emerge from the deepest wounds. When someone hurts you, you learn about boundaries, self-respect, and what truly matters. You learn that no one has the right to define your worth. No one is worth sacrificing your inner peace. For no one deserves your reaction if it causes you to abandon your chosen path. You begin to feel gratitude, not for the pain itself, but for the lessons it taught you. From struggle to inner peace, when you stop fighting to prove yourself, justify yourself, or reclaim validation, you are not surrendering. You are growing. You no longer participate in petty games. You choose to leave battles you never wanted to fight and focus instead on what truly matters: your career, your character, your values, and the future you are building. From ego to your true self, insults usually target the ego, the part of us that wants recognition, validation, and victory. But when the ego grows quiet, you begin to hear the voice of your true self. Your true self does not need to win every argument because it is focused on winning something far greater: the long journey of life itself. I do not need to defeat you today. I am busy becoming better than I was yesterday. Bon. From waiting for karma to becoming karma, you do not need to sit and wait for karma to punish others. You become karma. When you choose silence, step away from negativity, and continue growing, you become living proof that strength is not about striking back. It is about refusing to be dragged down. You build a life of peace, discipline, purpose, and value, and your very existence becomes the answer. The greatest inner transformation comes from self-mastery. There will always be people who dislike you, disrespect you, or try to make you lose control. But you do not have to react. You do not have to explain yourself. You only need to continue transforming yourself, because when you grow beyond the reach of pettiness, you do more than survive, you win. Let silence become your voice. Let peace become your strength. And let your growth become the most beautiful response you could ever give to the world. Key Stoic principles. In an age of information overload, emotional stress, and constant social friction, it is easy to be swept away by impulsive reactions. Yet more than 2,000 years ago, the great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus, left behind timeless wisdom that helps us remain steady amid life's storms. Below are some of the most important Stoic principles. Inspired by the spirit of the message, stay silent after disrespect, let karma speak. You have power over your mind, not the outside world. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple distinction: what is within your control and what is not. Insults, criticism, and provocation are beyond your control, but your response, your attitude, and your ability to remain composed are entirely your choice. Silence is the highest expression of inner strength. Stoics do not advocate silence because of weakness. They remain silent because they have outgrown the need to prove themselves to those who provoke them. When you are insulted, you do not always need a response. Not reacting does not mean you do not feel. Silence is a deliberate choice, a refusal to participate in the low-level game someone else is trying to drag you into. An insult reveals more about them than about you. A person who uses harsh words to hurt you does not do so because you are weak. More often, they act from their own insecurity and need for validation. Seneca once observed, "No man does wrong without a reason. He believes it serves some purpose." The person attacking you is often fighting battles within themselves. Their provocation is not the truth, it is a test. Non-reaction is a strategy, not an escape. Epictetus taught, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." A Stoic chooses calmness as a strategy of self-mastery, not as an act of surrender. They understand that anger only hands power to the provocateur. When you refuse to react, you force the other person to confront the emptiness within themselves. They begin to struggle, not because of what you did, but because of what you refused to do. Rise above rather than seek revenge. Stoics do not pursue revenge. They do not live to prove something to their enemies. Instead, they live to prove to themselves that they can maintain their dignity without conflict. They understand the ego wants to win an argument. The higher self wants to win at life. When you focus on growth, self-improvement, and personal development, revenge becomes unnecessary. Your quiet success becomes the most powerful response. Peace of mind is your greatest asset. In a world where everyone wants to speak louder, react faster, and argue harder, the person who protects their inner peace is often the strongest person in the room. The Stoics viewed tranquility as a treasure not worth sacrificing for temporary emotions. Never allow someone who does not live your life to steal your peace. No one can insult you without your permission. Stoicism teaches that an insult only works if you accept it as truth. If you refuse to internalize mockery, it loses its power. If you refuse to react, the provocateur loses their influence. You are the one who defines your worth. No one can make you feel small unless you agree with their judgment. The highest form of response is silence. The highest form of wisdom needs no words. There will be moments when you feel compelled to explain yourself, defend yourself, or prove that you are right. But remember, words rarely change a mind that has already decided not to listen. Stoics understand that truth does not need to be shouted. It exists quietly, steadily, and ultimately cannot be denied. Living like a Stoic, Stoicism is more than a philosophy. It is an operating system for the modern mind. When you apply these principles to everyday life, you begin to stop being drawn into meaningless conflicts. Remain calm amid chaos. Build yourself without seeking validation. Protect a peace that no one can take away. Remember, you do not need to react to prove your worth. Your silence, focus, discipline, and growth are the strongest messages you can ever send to the world. You don't need to shout to prove your strength. Sometimes silence is the loudest roar. Let time, karma, and your discipline do the talking. If you believe in the power of restraint and inner peace, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's learning to stay calm in chaos. Thanks for watching, and remember, silence isn't weakness. It's power in its purest form.